there's consequences to voting for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
It sounds like you were saying something a little bit more than what she said in that speech. You thought it clarified.
Yeah, no, look, I think her tone is ridiculous in her speech. There are extremely serious consequences to voting for Donald Trump. I don't think that's persuasive to most Americans, and warning them about voting for the wrong person is just, I think it's ridiculous. Criticize his policies, criticize what I want to do, criticize what Donald Trump wants to do, but this whole like wag your finger and warn you of extremely serious consequences, I feel like she sounds like a vice principal who's criticizing a student and not a vice president who's trying to lead the country. I just don't like the tone. Henry.
You talked of her as a cog in the wheel of the Trump system.
Yeah.
If you're vice president, how do you ensure that you don't become the same?
Well, I think, Henry, one of the things that Donald Trump and I really want to do is actually empower the people's elected president. I'd say this Democrat or Republican, you do have an administrative state that is way too unresponsive to the wishes of the people's elected president. And I think it makes it harder to get things done like reorganizing trade policy or renegotiating certain deals or even opening up American oil and gas exploration. So there's a lot that we want to do to just make the people's government more responsive to the actual people. It's way too sclerotic. It's way too run down in bureaucracy. Donald Trump and I definitely want to change that.
You opened your remarks here today talking about the Goshen deal. Is there anything, if you and Trump are elected, that you can do to stop it? If so, what? And if not, what can you do to get these people their jobs back?
Yeah, I mean, look, in 6 months, we're going to have to see where this thing actually is, right? It's going to progress in some way. Hopefully it progresses slowly, and there is something that we can do about it. But I don't want to make promises until we actually see what shape this thing looks like when we take office in January. I think the most important thing is we have to stop paying Chinese manufacturers to manufacture, whether it's here or overseas. We want to build an American manufacturing industry and an American middle class. If we want to pursue these policies, let's do them for Americans and American businesses. It's like, I can't get over the fact that, look, 30 years ago was 30 years ago. We made a lot of stupid mistakes, and frankly, a lot of those mistakes were bipartisan. Kamala Harris seems to want to double down on what everybody thinks was a mistake, which is allowing foreign adversaries to manufacture all of our stuff. We need to be more self-reliant, make more of our own stuff. If we didn't learn anything from COVID, it should have been that.
What do you base that on, just that Harris wants to encourage Chinese investment in manufacturing?
Oh, well, I mean, once she cast the deciding vote on the Inflation Reduction Act, which sent a lot of money to Chinese manufactured automobiles and other products. Obviously, the Goshen Plan is itself a child of the tie-breaking vote that she cast on that legislation. But she also, her convention speech, she criticized the very idea of tariffs. If you're not willing to penalize the Chinese government and American or foreign companies for manufacturing in China, then you're not serious about fighting back against the Chinese. It's astonishing to me that she is picking up it's 1990 all over again. We tried the Bill Clinton NAFTA approach. It led to the decimation of America's middle class. Maybe it made sense in 1992. It sure as hell doesn't make sense in 2024.